I'm Melody, 35 years old. I was Damien's girlfriend for just over 6 months. I was living in the Pigeon house when he came into my life. He didn't talk much at the beginning, only later when we were alone he didn't stop talking. As in all groups, there's always one or two bad eggs. Enter Marcel Skiphorst, the prick. He and some corporate real estate people tried to con us and bar the squat behind our backs.
Let's be straight, let's be frank and real. We are a bona fide, above board enterprise, dealing in property. Earth Spirits PLC. Pleased to meet you. We would like to make an offer here for this abode. We see potential here with a slight retouch there. It won't be so much work. It won't take long. Of foul play. This is our home, and we are here to stay. We moved in years ago when no one wanted it.
It was around this time that what seemed at first like a homeless, downtrodden older man, Jack Nightingale, turned up. Because we felt sorry for him, we let him stay, which in the end turned out to be a very good move. He actually not only knew the corporate people interested in our place, but coincidentally had once been the head of their company. Jack did some research and found the last living owner of the building, a woman called Ava, and got her to sign the squat over to us. She said the squatters reminded her of her comrades back in the day.
Mr. Crab and your merry men, you come to terrorize with fancy words. You've got a treat, you know. But we know the legal jargon. We're politicized. You did well with your annexation or colonization. To use your terms, but times move on. Squatting in barren years. Now it's different here. Gonna market. You're the cause of all the troubles round here. Now all with breakfast grains and salad bowls are symptoms of speculation. its monopoly for the chosen few.
After a while, living in the Pigeon house, Damien and I had had enough of the constant meetings and discussions that always dragged on endlessly. So we decided to start travelling, hitchhiking mainly. We nicked stuff and blagged our way around. I used to flirt with young male students so we'd have a place to sleep. As soon as the guy agreed, out would pop Damien from behind so we could both get our heads down. It was a great time, but inevitably the drugs became more and more important, to the detriment of the fucking, and we split.
Let's take a gamble on all that we can handle. So we'll go for the doctor, faking discomfiture. They write us off a sickie. That's how we take the mickey. So we can take a gamble on all that we can handle. Let's leave before we think too much. Let's leave before we have to explain. Let's go and do indulgence. We've come from home, we're playing away. Who made those rules ever nerds anyway? And I don't care 'cause I can't swim and I can't hold a job down. And I don't want to join in, at least not yet. Maybe never. Depends on the weather. And if the birds of the feather make me feel better, I jump at the chance. Then count me in.
The beginning was awkward. He lived in the Pigeon house. That's what they called their home, a squatted house. He was actually quite depressed and quiet at the time we met. It hadn't gone well with his ex. There was a problem with his father too, but he never really wanted to talk about that. He enjoyed being with me. It was the freedom and security I gave him, but again, he never said it.
Really stupid for a man of your age, acting like some sad used shabby doll, such a shabby doll. You and your issues drove a wedge between us, growing old like some rotten mold, like some rotten mold, always searching for some beauty you caught. Please go take a trip and see the pyramids, see the pyramids.
felt a little stifled in the Pigeon house. They had rules for everything, about the food, about things you wanted to buy, about how you were supposed to dress. And they bullied him too when he was working in my father's company.
You live a life on the fly, made me cry. Walking in the same room as I slept wasn't heaven. I guess we're just too different in the end. Let's just say bon voyage, bon voyage. Naked swimming in fountains, hot or still. Bunking taxis, dining out on the fair. Lying to strangers, far with kicks. Chewing the fat till dawn. Let's meet up someday again.
Not even a month after he started working for my father, he met his ex-girlfriend again. I would say I'm a caring person, but with her I didn't know where to start. Everything was wrong. She needed to be drunk to have a good time. Scientists say you retain things best when happy hormones flood your brain, but what if you're always drunk then? Anyway, I'm sure she nagged him and mocked his bourgeois life and spewed all the artist bullshit about how special their lives were. But whatever muck she intended to sling, he kept enjoying all the benefits of being with me.
I'm going to get you on the gold trail. Go get your bacon. Oh, you can't fail. We'll keep you busy from 9 to 5. Just pushing the numbers, you're sure to arrive. Look here, I'll tell you, there's no strings attached. When you're making a packet, there's no looking back. Oh no, we won't.
There was a period when he used to go partying every weekend. It wasn't easy for me, going to bed alone and waking up next to him reeking of smoke and alcohol. I was raging inside. I didn't show it at first, but in the end, we started to argue. For a while, I thought about being friendlier to him. What goes around comes around, right? I tried hard, but the more I sugarcoated things, the more his questioning propensity grew. We stopped making love, all the things that come with a broken relationship. And then he quit the job at my father's. He was always a freak.
Half of himself he does obscure. That's what he learned in a courtyard. From boy to a man, his side he does confide. He knows, so therefore it's plain to see. They make the cake, then he will eat it. Wasn't born to serve, but to be a leader. At the top, his country needs him. The air he gives off, all do believe him. And in the great halls, his bust you will see. With kindly banter, he loosens them up. They lower their guard, then he does his stuff. It's what you call the rule of the jungle.
What you call the rule of the jungle.
So my father got me my own flat. He never liked Damien. It was his way of helping to put an end to our relationship, and as so often, his plan worked. The last weeks before Damien moved out, there was a kind of peace between us. He dabbled in poetry. We started having sex again, but it was all only skin deep. The hidden anger at the table was still with us in bed. Once, when he came home drunk from the Pigeon house, I saw his silhouette in the dark, sitting on the bed, and I heard him crying quietly. I pretended to be asleep. I didn't feel like talking about anything anymore.
Well, I'm working to pay my way. Will I make it here? Who can say? Maybe I fit in after all, and maybe I'm normal after all. In this office block I toe the line. Looking out the window I spend my time. God, she's always going on, a silly cow. It's only been 1 month and I want out. Talk about feeling like a machine. Well, it's clear I'm not fitting in. Motivated, status-driven, exploiting the gaps in the system. Busy with schemes to succeed in, filling time with achieving. Phony joking, not money. Stupefied by the money.
Long hair suited Damien extremely well when he was still a little boy. He was addressed many times as a girl back then. It made his mother laugh and his father blush with anger. That was the first time Damien was embarrassed by his parents.
I'm connected, but how do I justify my belonging when I always feel and question the endless growth that will lead me to reject growth in your way, not for my sake, but for your sake, if only to avoid mass panic in the streets. Panic in the streets. So I'll join in till we can't then reveal in nostalgia how we fitted in so well, and all the good times we had doing it. Even if I fooled myself, and awareness that shone a brief light on it and struggled through, so we joined in again. Bury the nagging voice did say how to be. So I'll elbow for my way, not for your way, burning all inside. Hapless foraging, hapless foraging.
Later that night, on his way home from the Pigeon house, Damien was thinking about Bridget, his partner Bridget, his significant other Bridget, his spouse Bridget, his soulmate. No, not his soulmate. He walked through a tunnel that crossed over the tracks, empty and abandoned at the time of day. In the middle of the tunnel, he sat down and stared at the words, "Fuck you, Trezzy," written on the wall in front of him. He didn't know whether to go back the way he'd come or to carry on home. Then he heard a couple shouting. After a moment, the voices fell silent and were followed by the echoing steps of somebody marching in his direction. Damien stood up. He saw the shadow of a man approaching. When the man reached him, his expression changed swiftly from a frown to a smile that, however, didn't last long. Not that Damien noticed. Before he had time, the man punched him in the face and he dropped to the floor without a sound.
I took a boat on a 2-day trip, a trip that wasn't possibly mine. I got a feeling inside of it, a feeling that was possibly mine. The day at the fountain, it was it, undressed and ready to go, shouting and running, the joy of it, playing catch up into the night. I could feel the energy flowing, so I took a look outside, and brightness blinded my eyes. I really think that I saw it coming, all wrapped up in a box, 'cause the space outside was so cold. Everything's so systemized. So will you grow old? Beggar or rich man, inmate or soldier, as long as you're fine, we're fine. Take it, we took it, it's better to do it. It's what is right. Now I feel the energy flowing, so I take a look outside. Brightness blinds my eyes, and silly things took off their disguise, made me grin from inside. And silly things took off their disguise, they made me grin from inside. They made me grin from inside, had to grin from inside.
I'm Fleur, 48 years old. I live with Damien for 1 year and 8 months. Before I start, let me confess that he was an angel. Tears fill my eyes when I remember the first time he came to our establishment. He looked fucked, maimed like he'd been taught a lesson. He asked for a coffee and a Baileys.
As a beloved hostess, I glide along enchantingly. Then they turn their eyes at me to see the radiance that exudes undoubtedly from me. God, what a waste of talent.
Let's drink a toast to our glamour puss family. Join forces and slug it down, we are the dream team. So we go forth and reap, before parts to sag. Small matter of gravity, easy really. Sweetheart, it wasn't chance that you turned up here. For me, everything is fate. It wasn't just for a beer.
He told me he'd seen a bird nesting on the ground. A peeweet, I said. It was a peeweet. They build their nests on the ground. How odd, he said. How dangerous. Bloody nature, I said. He was so knackered, and finally I gave him a key for my flat and told him to go to sleep on the sofa. I served 3 very generous customers that night. When I came home late, I watched him sleeping until he woke up, and we talked until the next morning, mainly about me. He asked a lot of questions about my life as a man and about my life as a woman.
I'm trundling in to the dimly lit club where lonely wolves drool from their tongues. They're lining the edge of the dance floor with their bulging eyes, staring frozen
She's ever dancing, moving her stuff. She's so seductive with her comely struts. She looks like a film star of the small screen. Chiseled out cheekbones, rapturous queen. A lady Fleur Roche is coming over to me. Slowly but surely, she's transfixed me.
In the months he lived with me, he got into prostitution. Let me explain how this happened. Back then, he still admired my way of living. It was all new for him, my work, the bar, everything. I've been in this business for years, and naturally it was easy for me to talk about sex. That's what he needed badly, talking openly. I loved him for his attention and his interest in me and his talent for looking at the world with such ease.
Oh, that's so sweet. You should say that to tell you the truth. No one says that. No one says they just want to blabber and get off with me. So I'll accept that. A compliment it will be. Tell you the truth, when I first saw you there, I lost count and couldn't sing in tune. You didn't seem like the rest, like the rest. Was I mesmerized? Just look at my eyes. You heavenly creature, just flown in from Mars.
I wallowed in his affections and his awe of me. But I'm also honest. Honesty works. Everybody loves you if you're really honest. To be honest to him wasn't easy, though. I had to tell him the truth about my life. That it wasn't what he imagined. He idolized my job, and I shattered his idea of prostitution as a perfect way of life. I told him, it's the money, not the pleasure. Believe me, it's a kind of slavery, commercialized sex. It's a job most women can hardly quit. Look at the numbers, my friend.
Bonjour, the pleasure's all mine. Who's this Mr. Gorgeous, looking so divine? Wanna have a drink, maybe a glass of champagne, and something on the rocks, Mr. Hollywood. Hey girl, wanna powder up? Wanna play in the snow? Wanna hit the slopes? We're waiting in the back room for the pleasure of your choice. All you can imagine, all you can afford. We hope you find the treasure that will leave you with a smile. Wanted, you don't then please obey, no touching. You want receptiveness, you want to feel absorbed. Look, sweetie, I see those three heavy-duty young good ones over there, your pleasure. We aim to please. Some of them come smelling like they've never seen a bath, and some are dressed from head to toe with a rubber facade. Leather, nylons, latex, name it, anything goes. So we sit on the powerful and the ones that drive their cars, gangsters, police or self-employed, and the guys that build the roads. Trans and artists do appear, making it colourful.
When people say prostitution has always been there and that it serves a purpose in society, my answer is, well, then we must have a pretty fucked up society. I met so many men cursing about capitalism. I don't understand why they leave out the sex industry. I heard a young guy the other day at the next table talking to another guy. He said he went to a prostitute but couldn't fuck because he couldn't connect to the soul of the prostitute. Honestly, he said that. He also said it was weird to pay.
What is in me and I don't know what it is. All I know that when it happens it is bliss. Something new, it caught me taken by surprise. My God, it really makes me feel also alive. Where I come from, I've been lynched up for my actions, and all the consequences I could not imagine. Even here some find the whole thing just disgusting. For a man to want a man who's in transition.
Damien dated a lot of men, paid and unpaid, and put his coming out on the same level as becoming a prostitute. His optimism prevented him from seeing the twist coming. I knew it would. There's always a first time, meeting an ignorant punter.
If it's fetish they want, we've got the lot down in the basement. If they just want to talk or confidential, it won't leave the room then. So you'll do just fine, little Miss Divine. Vertrau mir einfach, trust me. Sweet effervescent will make you the star. Never fly till your honey jar. So certain, turned on strong. Undoubtedly, tomorrow. I knew all along that something was wrong. Now I'm not stalling. Now everything's fine. I'll take my time. I have a calling. All that is gone is not needed no more. And everything's here, so I'll just pull out the stool. Now everything's fine. I'll take my time. I have a calling. Finally, I figured it out. Secretly, I was never in doubt. How can I ever thank you? God blimey, I can come out.
I'm Nightingale. I'm in my 60s now. I'm Damien's father. The last time I saw him was on a Monday when he rang me and asked if he could come around with a friend. Of course, I said. What a lovely surprise. I hadn't seen him for months, which felt like years for me. I wasn't in good shape though, and I would have preferred another time, but what can you do? They were half an hour late. It wasn't a comfortable get-together, at least not for me. I was nervous and shaky, insecure, not relaxed like they were. He told me they wanted to leave the country for a while, like going on a honeymoon. Both of them seemed very happy. They laughed a lot. I didn't say much.
As I started, indignation followed me around. People's judge denotations made me feel quite down. Then I began to define and shape who I really am. I felt at ease with my situation. I'm surely now allowed. If it's right or if it's wrong, keeps me on the tracks, keeps me in the black, driving ahead station to station. Don't you feel like a mannequin in the window of a shop? Do you ever show aversion to some customer? Of course, I'm only human, but try to show empathy. Yet peace, love, and understanding are not always on their minds. If it's right or if it's wrong, keeps me on the tracks, it keeps me in the black, driving ahead station to station. If it's right or if it's wrong, keeps me on the tracks, it keeps me in the black, driving ahead station to station.
There had been some tension between us lately. I think he didn't like seeing me at the Pigeon house so often. You know, I liked going there. It made me feel young again, and the girls liked me. Who are you to tell me what to do? But this is not what I wanted to say.
I know I'm difficult, can rub you up the wrong way. Did you really think I would? Oh, the I must admit, I thought about it for a time. Then I thought of you, poor buggers, and what we've built together. And then came a sea change, sea change. I didn't sit back on my heels and go away, go away. I want those old days back again. It was my way of getting back at the enemy in hand. And my ways are somewhat different. You just have to trust me. I took a chance, I made the plan. It was their eyes that were wooled over. So came a sea change, sea change. I didn't sit back on my heels and go away, go away. I want those old days back again. So came a sea change, sea change. I didn't sit back on my heels and go away, go away. I want those old days back again.
I want to read you one of his poems. Father, Father, for God's sake, you were sleeping, I was awake. Father, Father, I sleep and you leave. What kind of thief are you? Honestly, isn't that a helpless little poem? Are you doesn't fit in, does it? But poetry aside, we were also never really good with politics together. I wanted to fight the system with him and his friends, but it seems he didn't really trust me. I admit he didn't grow up with me as a father. I chose business. And his mother, well, you know how women are with kids. But I've changed. Okay. Once he asked me if I'd still party with the same people if my business hadn't failed. Well, I suppose I probably wouldn't.
It's closing up, never gonna stop. They'll be filling in the gaps and shutting up shop. They're smart, how they take, born to it, for God's sake. No more pissing in their backyards that have been wealth and stuff. Slumming in the shadows where they keep their rubbish bins and second cars. Watch this space for the movers and shakers, deep behind doors of the money makers. Oh, it's always too much what gets cleaned up. It's never enough for them to come out on top, so you feel beat up. I go to my places, beautiful inner city spaces that are crumbling, unkept, free and her cue. Oh, it's always too much what gets cleaned up. It's never enough for them to come out on top, so you feel beat up. Watch this space for the movers and shakers. Leave behind doors of the money makers. Oh, it's always too much what gets cleaned up. It's never enough for them to come out on top, so you feel beat up.
Sorry, I digressed. What I wanted to reveal to you is the love Damien found, the love that saved him, I hope. I'm not in contact with him anymore. They went somewhere else, I don't know where. But I was involved, or better, I witnessed the beginning of their love. For weeks they spent the afternoons in the bar, talking and laughing their heads off. It was so lovely. Me, however, I cried into my pillows at night anyway. I hope he's happy.
Now I'm here, I can tell you home truths you should know, but can be all missing so. And I resolved my way of thinking that all can hate, and I will stand above. It's only love, love, oh love. It's only love.
Narrator, Sarah Asling. Fleur Roche, Lady Gaby. Melody, Pip Roper. Bridget, Georgia Riungu. Jack Nightingale, Giles Schumm. Script edited by Louisa Macdonald. Script created by Maria Schlangen. All songs, recording and mix by David John Hull. And a special thank you to all the musicians involved.